Hey guys, so today I have swatches of the KL polishes by Kathleen Lights. I will link the website down below so you guys can check these out. There are 6 polishes here. I believe the shipping is, there's a bit of like a shipping kerfuffle early on. People that had pre-ordered them were getting them later than people that had gone in like a couple weeks later and ordered during the actual launch. I think that's all fixed now. I ordered mine about midweek after they launched. I would have pre-ordered them, but I was supposed to get them PR and they didn't show up, so I ended up having to order them later on. So I would have had these a lot earlier, but they did come, let's see, I ordered them I think on a Wednesday. They launched on a Monday, I ordered them on a Wednesday, and I got them the following Friday. So considering the volume of orders that they probably had, I would assume a huge volume of orders, it was actually pretty speedy, all things considered. So 6 polishes here all together, and I will get into the swatches. So the first polish is called Snickerdoodle, and this is a very light tan color. A couple things I did want to point out about these is they have a rubberized cap, which is really nice for when your bottle gets stuck. Makes it really easy to take the cap off. I appreciate any brand that does a rubberized cap because it makes the polishes really easy to open. These also have a very short, wide brush. Now when I first used this brush, I absolutely hated it. Not so much because it's wide. It is very wide. If you have narrow nail beds, you're going to have a little bit of difficulty with these, but I wouldn't say it's too wide. It was mainly just how short and stiff it was. It took a little bit of getting used to for me, but once I got used to it, it was fine. But I will say I did not like it at all on my first swipe through. So here is one coat. This covers really well on that first coat, just a little bit streaky, so it does need 2. Formula is great on this. The application is a little bit tricky until you get used to that brush. It does take a little bit of practice with the brush to get the application down. It does feel like they want to leave some ridges, but as it dries, those do go away. If you have any left after it dries, they're going to be so minor that your top coat will take care of them. So here is 2 coats. And this one does cover completely in 2. This one dries pretty shiny on its own, but obviously I'm going to recommend top coat. So there is 2 coats of Snickerdoodle. So this next polish is called Zoey, and this is a kind of medium dusty rose cream. So here is 1 coat. And this one is nearly opaque in 1 coat. It's just a little bit streaky for me. Not terrible. If you're not picky or if your application is a little more even than mine, you might be able to get away with 1 coat. But I am going to do 2. Great formula on this one. This one I don't feel like has the same issue that the first one did with the unevenness. This one levels out really nicely. And the other one leveled itself out anyway, but this one doesn't even look like it's not going to. So here's 2 coats. So this one does cover completely in 2, and that does deepen the color a little bit as well. And like the last one, it does dry pretty shiny. The only real complaint I have about these is the brush. I just feel like it's a little bit too short, makes them a little bit difficult to control. So there is 2 coats of Zoey. The next polish is called Caramello, which is a dark mustard yellow cream. Not like super dark, but darker than most mustard polishes that I've seen. So here is 1 coat. And this one covers really well in the first coat. I think you could probably easily get away with this in 1. I'm going to do 2 just to cover up a little bit of nail line that I can see, but it's very minimal. Great formula on this one as well. So here is 2 coats. So you can see the color difference there between the first and second coat. I definitely think this dries a lot darker. And this one also dries very shiny on its own. So there is 2 coats of Caramello. The next polish is called Brick Sidewalk, and this is a brick red cream. So here is 1 coat. This one also covers really well on that first coat. It just has a few light spots where the polish isn't completely even. Great formula on this one as well. I apologize if you can hear all the racket in the background. We have construction going on in our house right now. So here is 2 coats. And this one covers completely in 2, and it deepens the color quite a bit. And this one also dries pretty shiny on its own. So there is 2 coats of Brick Sidewalk. The next polish is called Broccoli and Chocolate, and this is a dark brown cream. So here is 1 coat. This one is moderately sheer on the first coat. It is a little bit more of a jelly formula than the others. Easy to apply though. and it's definitely not so dark that it's going to look black. So here is 2 coats. This one covers completely in 2, but I do think, depending on your application, you might end up needing 3. I can see where you could definitely have some light spots with this. Actually, I think I am going to do 3 because I'm looking at my pointer finger and my middle finger, and I did the coats a different thickness on each of those, and there's a little bit of color discrepancy there. So I'm going to go ahead and do a 3rd coat just to even it out. But if you're not super picky, you could easily get away with 2. So here is 3 coats. And like I said, this was nearly opaque for me in 2. I just had a little bit of a color difference depending on how thick or how thin I did the coats on different nails. So I did want to even that out. You actually might not have even been able to pick it up on camera. So there is 3 coats of broccoli and chocolate. And the last polish is called Gumption, and this is a darker cobalt blue. So here is 1 coat. So this one is a little bit more of a jelly finish than a true cream, but it is a very, very opaque jelly, which I was not expecting. I expected it to be a little jelly-ish, but I also expected it to be sheer, which it's not. It does need 2 coats to cover the nail line, but it's a much more opaque jelly in this color than I'm used to seeing. It does have that really funky smell that a lot of blue colors like this have. That's just the pigment that they use. So here is 2 coats. So this one covers completely in 2. This is a little bit of a jelly, like I said, so depending on your application, you might need 3. You might have some light spots, but I kind of doubt it. It almost looks on camera like it's a little bit light at the end of my pointer finger, but I don't see that in person. And this one also dries a little bit dull, so you will definitely want top coat. So there is 2 coats of Gumption. So I have 2 favorites here. Formula-wise, these were all pretty comparably good, like across the board. They were pretty consistent, but color-wise, there were 2 polishes that stood out to me, and those are Caramello. It's a really, really nice mustard yellow. I have one from Dance Legend. It's like the number's like 40 something. That's similar to this, but it's a much lighter mustard yellow, and I definitely don't have anything even remotely close to this dark of a mustard in my collection. So really happy about that one. And then Brick Sidewalk was the other one that stood out to me. And I'm sure if I looked through, I have dupes of this one somewhere, but I can't think of any right off the top of my head. Whoops, almost dropped it. Can't think of any right off the top of my head, so I really liked this one as well in terms of uniqueness. And then I'll give an honorable mention to Gumption, because when I first looked at this, I expected it to be a jelly, but it was actually much more opaque than I anticipated, which is good, because I always get really excited about these dark blues. They always end up being a little more sheer and a little more finicky to work with than I anticipate, but this is probably the first one that I've come across that wasn't like that. So those are the KL polishes by Kathleen Lights. Again, I will link that website down below. Hope you guys enjoyed this one, and I will talk to you later.